Kawasaki just gave us a wild glimpse of the future, one where you could actually ride a robotic beast through nature like it is a scene straight out of a science fiction film. Meet the Corleo.
What if the next vehicle you ride doesn't have wheels, doesn't follow roads, and doesn't even need your hands to steer? Kawasaki just revealed a four-legged, hydrogen-fueled machine that moves like a beast and thinks like it's alive. Is this the moment traditional vehicles start to lose their grip on the future? The beast unveiled. When most people hear Kawasaki, they think of high-speed motorcycles tearing down a racetrack or jet skis crashing through waves. But what they just revealed looks like it crawled out of a science fiction movie, took a deep breath of hydrogen, and dared the auto industry to catch up. It's called Corleo, and no, it doesn't have wheels. It has legs, 4 of them. Kawasaki built Corleo as a rideable quadrupedal robot, something that looks part animal, part machine, and somehow entirely real. It's designed to carry a human on its back, adjusting its movements based on the rider's posture. No buttons, no handles, just subtle body language cues that the AI on board interprets instantly. Think of it like riding a robotic horse, except this one can walk across landscapes where even off-road vehicles stall, slip, or sink. It's not just a concept for clean roads or showroom floors. Corleo is being developed for rough terrain, disaster response zones, mountainous routes, and anywhere a wheeled vehicle simply wouldn't survive. And then there's the fuel source, hydrogen, not electricity or gasoline. This means it runs clean, but doesn't need hours to recharge. It's quiet, powerful, and futuristic in a way that feels purposeful rather than flashy. Kawasaki has already been playing with hydrogen tech in their motorcycles and marine engines, but this is the first time they've strapped it to a walking robot you can actually ride. The most shocking part isn't just the tech itself. It's how natural it looks in motion. Footage shows Corleo walking in sync with its rider, adjusting balance dynamically, almost like it's alive. And while it's still in prototype stages, the message is clear. Kawasaki isn't just improving vehicles. They're trying to rewrite the entire concept of what a personal vehicle even is. As impressive as the legs are, it's what's happening inside Corleo's brain that truly blurs the line between rider and machine. A vehicle that thinks. Kawasaki didn't just build a robotic ride with legs. What makes Corleo so wild, and honestly a little unsettling, is that it studies you. It watches how you shift your weight, how you lean into turns, how you react to the ground underfoot, and it uses that information to decide how it should move next. This isn't like driving a car or riding a bike where you're in full control. You're not operating Corleo. You're communicating with it, and it's making the final call on how to respond. At the center of Corleo is an artificial intelligence system that's not just smart for a robot. It's built to mimic instinct. There's no steering wheel, no throttle, no brakes. It moves because the rider does. If your body subtly leans forward, the robot senses the motion and begins to walk. Shift your weight to one side, and the AI calculates how to adjust the robot's legs so it stays balanced while obeying your intent. It doesn't just interpret a single action. It builds a real-time model of your movements, the terrain beneath it, and the safest, smoothest path forward. That kind of dynamic motion isn't something you can fake with pre-programmed instructions. It requires the robot to understand terrain on a granular level, from the steepness of a slope to the texture of the surface. Whether it's climbing over uneven rocks, moving across muddy terrain, or navigating narrow, unstable paths, Corleo can make thousands of micro-adjustments in real time. Each leg is independently powered and steered, and its rubber hooves create traction the same way mountain animals stabilize themselves on cliffs. To pull this off, Kawasaki fitted Corleo with a full sensor suite that likely includes accelerometers, gyroscopes, force sensors, and possibly even some form of 3D depth perception or LiDAR, although they haven't confirmed exact specs yet. These sensors constantly track not just what the rider is doing, but how the robot's legs are interacting with the world. The AI system maps those signals and calculates how to adjust its limbs without any delay. There's no lag, no delay, and no obvious robotic stiffness. Watching Corleo walk almost feels like seeing a machine breathe. It just flows. And while most traditional vehicles are reactive, you tell them what to do and they do it, Corleo is proactive. If it senses instability ahead, it changes course. If the rider appears off balance, it slows down or shifts position. This level of assistance isn't just for comfort, it's for safety. In unpredictable environments like natural disaster zones or remote terrains, the robot is the one making the judgment calls. It has to be able to compensate instantly or it risks falling and taking the rider down with it. What Kawasaki is building here goes far beyond what you see in autonomous cars or self-balancing scooters. This is not about navigating lanes or avoiding traffic. This is about a machine forming a kind of physical relationship with a human, interpreting nonverbal cues and reacting like a living creature. Just when the intelligence behind Corleo seems groundbreaking enough, its power source adds an entirely new layer to the story: the hydrogen advantage. When Kawasaki unveiled Corleo, it wasn't just the robotic legs or AI-driven navigation that turned heads zero, it was the choice of hydrogen as its power source. This decision reflects a bold step towards sustainable innovation, aligning with global efforts to reduce carbon emissions and embrace cleaner energy solutions. At the heart of Corleo's propulsion system lies a 150cc hydrogen engine. Unlike traditional combustion engines, this engine doesn't burn hydrogen directly to produce mechanical motion. Instead, it operates as a generator, converting hydrogen into electricity, which then powers the electric motors in each of Corleo's 4 legs. This setup ensures that the robot operates quietly and efficiently, emitting only water vapor as a byproduct. Hydrogen as a fuel offers several advantages over conventional fossil fuels and even some electric battery systems. It's abundant, and when used in fuel cells or combustion engines designed for hydrogen, it produces zero harmful emissions. Moreover, hydrogen-powered systems can be refueled much faster than recharging electric batteries, making them more practical for applications requiring extended operation times or quick turnaround. Corleo's hydrogen is stored in a canister mounted at the rear of the robot. This design choice not only balances the vehicle's weight distribution, but also allows for easy access when refueling. The integration of the hydrogen engine with the electric drive system exemplifies Kawasaki's commitment to blending traditional engineering with cutting-edge technology. However, the adoption of hydrogen as a primary fuel source isn't without challenges. The infrastructure for hydrogen refueling is still in its infancy in many parts of the world. Producing hydrogen in an environmentally friendly manner, such as through electrolysis powered by renewable energy, is also more costly compared to traditional methods. Despite these hurdles, Kawasaki's investment in hydrogen technology signals a belief in its long-term viability and potential to revolutionize personal mobility. In the broader context, Corleo represents more than just a novel mode of transportation. It's a statement about the future of mobility. By harnessing hydrogen power, Kawasaki is exploring alternatives that could one day replace the internal combustion engine, especially in applications where electronic batteries may not be as effective due to weight or range limitations. In conclusion, Corleo's hydrogen-powered system is a proof of Kawasaki's forward-thinking approach. It showcases how traditional engineering principles can be reimagined to meet the demands of a sustainable future, offering a glimpse into how we might traverse challenging terrains without leaving a carbon footprint. Hydrogen gave it power, but what truly unsettles the industry is how Corleo dares to redefine freedom itself. Why this threatens traditional vehicles? The threat Corleo poses to traditional vehicles isn't about horsepower, fuel type, or even whether it has legs instead of wheels. What really makes it dangerous, at least from the perspective of car manufacturers, is how it reshapes the entire purpose of personal transport. It challenges not just how we move, but why we move, where we're allowed to go, and how much the machine should rely on us to make decisions. That's not an upgrade, that's a rewrite. For decades, the vehicle market has operated under one massive assumption, that freedom comes in the shape of a car. You get in, you go anywhere you want, and that's supposed to be enough. But if you take a step back, that freedom only works within the limits the infrastructure gives you. You're still stuck in traffic. You're still tied to roads, parking lots, fuel stations, and rules written for machines built 100 years ago. Corleo doesn't play by any of those rules, and that's what makes it feel like a jailbreak. This isn't a machine that fits into the system. It ignores the system completely. You don't need a license, at least not in the traditional sense. There's no road it requires, no traffic light it waits at, and no city grid that defines where it can or can't move. Instead of navigating the world as it is, Corleo was designed to explore the world as it could be, the unpaved, unpredictable, and untouched. That changes the psychological relationship people have with vehicles. Cars are objects of control. You steer them, command them, and they do what you say. But Corleo responds to instinct, not orders. It creates a kind of emotional rapport with the rider, like you're working together instead of just pushing buttons and turning wheels. That's not just a different kind of interaction, it's a different kind of trust, one that could redefine what people expect from machines. Then there's the matter of identity. Automakers have built their brands on sleek design, aggressive marketing, and upgrades that focus on luxury, speed, or eco-friendliness. But when a machine like Corleo shows up, one that doesn't fit any of those categories, it exposes just how narrow the auto industry's imagination really is. It's not trying to be a better car. It's saying maybe we shouldn't be designing cars at all. The real threat isn't that Corleo will outsell SUVs or motorcycles. It's that it will reframe the question. Once people experience mobility without roads, without traditional controls, and without needing permission from the landscape, that feeling doesn't go away. It opens a door. And when that door is open, it becomes much harder to convince someone that four wheels and a steering column are the peak of progress. Shaking up the auto industry is one thing. Proving that this machine isn't just a futuristic flex, but a real glimpse into how we might move through the world tomorrow is something else entirely. Is this the future or just a flex? Every few years, some company rolls out a wild-looking prototype and claims it's going to change the world. Usually it ends up locked in a showroom, collecting dust under a spotlight while the real world moves on. So when Kawasaki introduced Corleo, it was fair to wonder, is this actually the start of something new, or just a flashy PR moment designed to grab headlines? Let's start with what we know. Kawasaki has already laid out that Corleo is a concept vehicle, not a mass-market product. It's being showcased as part of their robust smart mobility vision for Expo 2025 in Osaka. That event isn't just about tech demos. It's where companies like Kawasaki put their most ambitious, future-facing ideas on display. So right now, Corleo doesn't have a price tag, a release date, or any kind of commercial roadmap. But that doesn't mean it's just for show. This isn't the first time Kawasaki has gone deep into hydrogen development. They've been working for years on hydrogen-powered motorcycles, hydrogen-fueled marine engines, and even hydrogen storage and transport systems. That's part of a much bigger push in Japan from both the government and private companies to shift toward hydrogen as a national energy strategy. So while Corleo might seem like a one-off, it's actually built on a foundation Kawasaki has been laying for a while. That matters. It tells us they're not playing with one cool idea. They're building a larger ecosystem that Corleo might eventually plug into. And the walking robot part? That's not as out there as it used to be. Boston Dynamics, Honda, and even small research labs around the world have already proven that legged robots can handle complex terrain better than wheels ever could. The tech is here. What's been missing is a real-world use case. Corleo might be Kawasaki's way of asking, what if these robots weren't just for cargo or military use? What if you could ride one? Now here's where things get tricky. Building a robot that can walk, balance, think, and carry a human safely is hard. Building one that's affordable and mass-producible is even harder. So even if Kawasaki figures out how to perfect Corleo, the question remains, will regular people actually want something like this? Would they trust it? Could they afford it? And where would they ride it? Until there's an infrastructure that supports hydrogen refueling and off-road robotic transit, Corleo might remain a beautifully engineered symbol of what's possible, not what's next. But even if it never hits the consumer market, its influence might be bigger than most people think. Tech like this tends to inspire other innovators. Engineers, designers, and startups will study how Kawasaki merged AI with motion and how they applied hydrogen to something other than a car or drone. The ripple effects could spark new ideas that lead to entirely different kinds of personal vehicles, ones that don't rely on roads, wires, or even a fixed form. So no, Corleo might not replace your car tomorrow. It might not show up in a dealership next year. But is it a pointless flex? Not even close. It's a test run for a new category of machines. And if that category catches on, everything we think we know about personal transport could get turned on its head. Whether Corleo becomes the new face of mobility or just a glimpse into what's coming, one thing's clear: the way we move is about to change. So what do you think? Is this the future we've been waiting for? Or is the world just not ready to let go of the old way yet? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and if you're as hooked on this tech revolution as we are, make sure to like, subscribe, and stick around because this is just the beginning.